So it's our weekly live session. Thank you for everyone for watching. If you're watching this um, after the fact, still appreciate you. You can always leave your comments in and we'll get it in the next week's session. One thing that I wanted to start off with today, I left a question in our stories yesterday um, because there's usually one or two areas that people usually struggle with when it comes to starting or maintaining. Basically, it's starting a program or maintaining a program. Either people struggle to just get that push and that momentum to start and initiate the changes. Um, for others, it's they have no problem starting, but the struggle is um, somewhere down the line things happen in life. It's one of the unfortunate facts that things change, and keeping with it can be a very big challenge and big struggle for people on that. And sometimes it's both. You know, one of the hardest parts with um, initiating an exercise routine is we're talking, especially if you're not doing anything at all. We're talking about for most programs that people would try and initiate on their own that they're following. Bare minimum, we're trying to find an extra hour and a half in our week. Some programs, it's as much as 5 or 7 hours pulled out of nowhere that you have to all of a sudden start committing to the workouts. And that doesn't even include, for a lot of people, the additional time needed on the nutrition end, where there's more meal prep, more food prep, planning, shopping, things of that nature required. That's usually the main challenge for people getting started with a program. Is just it's such a big change to go from zero to full adherence to a lot of these programs out there, that it's just super daunting to get going. Um, on the flip side of that, if you're someone who, you can get going, but, the plans, because of how much they require, um, it's hard to keep going under the best of whenever it's not the best of circumstances. So, holidays come up, schedule changes happen, kids' activities change from season to season, so it's hard to keep a steady and consistent schedule with all of your routines. Um, so one of the things that we try and coach on and that I work with clients on is um, the least intervention needed to see results is always better than trying to go in with a massive amount of change straight from the get-go. And the reason being is, for one, it's both easy to start, but it's also easier to keep going. Because if you're able to start seeing changes and see success by simply prioritizing protein with each meal and having a vegetable with at least one of your meals, if you're not already, that can have a pretty powerful change on your appetite levels throughout the day, the total caloric intake. Because of that, your body's ability to nourish and recover, because now it has more of the building blocks needed to keep your body in optimum health and performance day after day. Same thing on the exercise end. If you can start seeing changes with 2 to 3 times a week, we don't have to go five or more straight out of the gate. Um, and sometimes it's just about starting small, especially if you're doing it on your own. Um, if you don't have anyone there for accountability, trying to add, 3 or more times a week for a workout into your schedule can be challenging. So for people who aren't coming in to see us, a lot of times I recommend just, you know, 5 minutes twice a week. Start with that. Put on your shoes, go for a walk. And the idea with that is the 5 minutes, it's a small commitment to make. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's 5 minutes. I can go do that. Um, but what happens is, once you get going with the momentum, it's like, well, I'm already out here. Let's go another five. And now you've got 10 minutes. And it's easier to build on that. Whereas if it's like, God, I don't know where I'm going to fit in an extra 30 minutes twice a week into my schedule, it's going to be a constant challenge. And the problem is whenever we're faced with those either constant challenges or life's pulling us away from the success we've had, we get in that defeatist mentality. And that's what often leads us into giving up the pursuit. And that's the last thing that we really want to see for someone, is being in that position where they're just constantly beating themselves up about not meeting that ultimate goal, where we could be able to celebrate the fact that, like, hey, you went for 2 5-minute walks this week and you've had a vegetable with each one, with at least one meal every day this week. Like, if you weren't doing any of that before, that's a huge change that will have impact if you do it consistently. And then we just build on it. One of the biggest things that I've done, even for myself, with recovery, um, there was a point after some of my back issues where the first round of times I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to run again. Um, just so happened, having to keep up with a kid and the dog, that I ended up doing it for a little bit, and it didn't kill me. So then I just set a goal of going a little bit further every time I went out. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. All I did was, it was a route through my neighborhood. I just went one driveway further than what I did the last time. I would still walk the rest of it, but I was trying to build up how long I could continuously run for. And it was easier for me mentally to say, like, I'm just going to go one driveway further than what I did last time, than to say, okay, we're going to run 20 minutes now, even though you haven't been running at all for a couple of years because of health conditions, or schedule or whatever. Like, those are daunting changes to make, that can beat us up, on the mental game of things. So starting small, on your own, can still bring about great success. One of the reasons why most of our clients see the success that they do is because of the accountability that we have built into our programs. It's a lot easier to fit in 2 to 3 workouts a week when you're setting an appointment to meet someone else to do it, versus trying to just do it on your own, because there's no one essentially making you still follow through with that plan. So if you're starting on your own, start small. If you feel that that's not going to be enough for you, send us a message or comment in the chat. Get started, and we'll set up some time where we can talk about how we can help you get that accountability built more into your weekly routine, so you can start seeing the results that you want. All right, haven't seen any new questions. I hope that helped everyone from our poll yesterday. As always, we do this every Tuesday, around 5 o'clock is when we start. I hope to see you guys next week. Between now and then, just remember to stay persistent in your consistent pursuit of health.